Hey folks, I'm Camille Who Armstrong, the performing arts renaissance woman. For over 40 years, I've worked as a performer, educator, consultant, and coach. But most importantly, I'm a parent. From classrooms to stages to bedtime routines, I've spent my life nurturing creativity, character, and connection in the next generation. This series is for you, whether you're expecting, learning as you go, or parenting for the first time, or even third time around. I'm here to share the insights, tools, and real talk I've gathered over 4 decades of hands on experience. Welcome to Camille Who, the Child Whisperer. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, why are so many parents trying to socialize their toddler when the most important social cultural skills are supposed to be learned in the home first? Parents tend to shy away from the fact that, or maybe they just don't understand, and so that's the reason why I am doing this video, is this. What we don't understand is that the family institution is the very first institution that we are involved in. And that carries a lot of weight, especially in the first 6 years. The first 6 years of one's life, it pretty much shapes who you are. That is your start. And it's pretty much who you are. Okay, there may be some deviations. There may be some you're going to grow up, you're going to add some information, some education, you're going to add experiences, but that first 6 years of your life is the core right there, and it starts how you interact with people, how you socialize with people, how you behave, how you handle life situations. All of that comes from the training that you receive in the first 6 years of your life in your family institution. And I think most people don't realize the weight of what they have in their home, how important it is to set boundaries, how important it is to keep structure, to be consistent, to be clear, to teach language, to teach the language that you want your child to speak, teach your child mealtime etiquette, to socialize. My goodness, like that's something you do when your child learns socialization when you are hanging out with another friend who has children, or something as simple as you going to the playground with your child and there's another adult with a child. You know that you're teaching your child to socialize by just saying hello to the other adult. Like when you when you model that there's someone there and you just go, hi, hey, what's up, and you just start talking, and then you're saying each other, my name is this, oh, my name is that, oh, okay, cool, nice to meet you. All right, that right there is teaching your child how to socialize. Done. I think it's a myth. It's really sort of creating this, I don't know, opportunity to lose money. Because parents tend to spend all kinds of money on all these different kinds of activities. I'm not saying don't put your child in activities, because by all means, let your child try different things, because you never know what their purpose to do. So they might find something that they really gravitate towards and they're really naturally good at, and that may be tied to their purpose and their destiny. By all means, have your child try different things. However, that is not for them to be socialized. Okay, people? Socialization happens in the home. The whole myth of, my child needs to be with other kids, or my child needs to, I need to put them in some activities so they can be socialized, or I need to put them in daycare so they can learn social skills. Honey, that's at home. Just like charity begins at home, so does manners. When I would see a child misbehave, when I was growing up, I would hear my mother say that child has no home training. It's not because they weren't socialized, okay? And a lot of times we saw that at school. We saw that where there were other kids that, and then that was the one child or the two children, that would just misbehave. They weren't socializing with other kids. They just didn't socialize with anybody. In fact, they just were really just misbehaving. Why? Because my mother would say they have no home training. It starts in the home training. They learn in the home, they can now go out and interact with the world. They have discipline, they have self-regulation, they have executive function skills, they know how to communicate, they know how to when they get frustrated, they know how to sort of calm themselves down because they realize, okay, you know what, this is not the place or the time to freak out. Okay? These are self-regulation, self-regulatory skills, self-soothing, and just something as simple as parents going to a playground and talking to another parent that they don't know, or going to a supermarket and talking to someone you don't know, or going to a family get together and you see how your the cousins, you interact with your cousins, you learn ranking. You learn who's stronger, who's not strong. You learn who to protect. You learn who is going to protect you. You learn who you don't mess with because you have no business because they're older than you and that's disrespect. You learn ranking. Okay? That is socialization. That's the socialization that starts that parents don't really realize that it's the culturalization that happens at home that's how you socialize your child. If you want them involved in different activities, go for it. But don't do it because you want to socialize your child. When children learn a certain culture at home, in their family institution, and they go out and they see another child misbehave, they're more likely to separate themselves from that child and realize that, okay, that's not how I want to behave, so I'm not going to do that. I don't want to create that kind of drama that child is creating right now. This is uncomfortable. Everyone's uncomfortable and that child is making things hard. Okay, this is something that your child, who has been culturalized in a positive way, in a leadership kind of way, um, in a self-discipline sort of way, trusting, respectful sort of way, they now know to separate themselves and sort of realize, okay, some people act that way. I don't have to be that person. I'm not that person that acts that way. Okay. Whereas as opposed to if the child is not being positively respectfully culturalized at home, they go out into a social situation or an activity and they see a child misbehave. You know what they do? They imitate that behavior and they bring it home now. Now you don't know. Now this is a whole phase that child is going to go through because they don't know the difference between this is how we behave and this is how we don't behave. Okay? No, what they do is they see another child, because that child is their age. They see that, oh, this is how children behave when they don't get what they want. They scream and stomp their feet or throw themselves on the floor. So what happens is you bring your child to a daycare, right? And because you didn't teach them a certain culture in the house, they go to a daycare, they see a child lose it, and then they behave that way. And now they bring that same behavior at home, and now you have to deal with that for weeks because you don't know how to deal with it, and you have to wait for your child to phase it out because you don't know how to deal with it. That's That's what's actually happening if you don't teach your child or have a culture and have a positive, respectful culture at home. Okay? So that socialization that you're trying to happen, listen, this culture, this whole society, people are confused. You have to understand that other parents, if you don't know what you're doing with your child, other parents don't know what they're doing with their child too. And that those other parents are creating a negative family institution for their child too. And so that child and your child are going to be in the same room together, socializing or learning each other's really bad habits, all because you as a parent did not want to teach your child structure, give your child boundaries, give your child consistency, teach them meal etiquette and different kinds of etiquette, that you didn't want to create and enforce boundaries, that you didn't want to give them consequences for crossing those boundaries, or you didn't want to help regulate their emotional outbursts or anything like that. All because you didn't want to do that. You're going to have them socialize now with other kids that don't know how to self-regulate and don't have executive functioning skills. Okay, so this whole thing called socialization, there's your myth busted. When you do teach a positive culture in your household, your child is now learning to be gentle. They learn how to take turns. They learn how to speak respectfully. They learn how to follow directions. They learn how to manage their frustration. They learn how to interact with adults. They learn how to connect with others without fear or judgment. You teach them that stuff at home, then when they do go out to those activities and they see other kids misbehaving, then they know how to say, okay, right? That's not me. I'm not going to behave that way. We don't behave that way here at home. Maybe they do that, but we don't do that. Okay? But if you don't teach those things at home, they're going to go and they're going to imitate it because they don't know the difference. This is what socializing will end up doing. Yeah, you heard it here first. Maybe you heard it here first. Maybe you heard it somewhere else, but I had to say it because I'm really, it kind of annoys me. And you know me and my big feelings. And I had to share this one for sure because I am kind of overhearing, I have to do this because I have to socialize my child. Like, honey, your child is 2. You don't even know how to make sure your child cleans up their toys. You want to socialize them? You want to bring them out in public? If they don't know how to manage their own feelings, if they don't know how to self-soothe, if they don't know how to clean up their toys, they just throw things all over the place spitefully and don't clean up. They don't know structure and you want to go and socialize them. So being socialized is more important than having manners and having values and having structure. I want y'all to think about that. All right? This is Camille Who, and I'm out of here.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Camille Who, the Child's Whisperer. A heartfelt thank you to the generous supporters of the Books and Beyond campaign. This series wouldn't be possible without you. If you're a new or expecting parent, I created Better Parent, Better Future just for you. I empower first-time parents to embrace a positive mindset and navigate those early parenting years with confidence and joy. Click the link in the description to learn more or to find out how we can work together. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep leading with love.